Before we get started, I would appreciate if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.
In this video, we are going to give the top 10 investing tips for broke people. A broke person can be anyone who has very little money coming in or are on a low-paying crappy wage with no savings scraping to get by. What can you realistically do if you are broke and would like to change your situation and finally seriously do something about it, even though your income is extremely restricted and limited? So let's get started, should we? Tip number 1, account for everything. You need to be able to account for every single pound you earn. You need to know exactly how much money you have coming in and where exactly every single pound and penny goes to. There should be no pound that leaves your pocket or bank account without you being able to account for it when the month ends. There should be no excuses if asked, "Where did your money go?" You should be able to explain where every single pound went. The best way to do this is to use Microsoft Excel or even a pen and paper and write down your total income and then list all your expenses. Don't leave any expense spared. Even if you were to buy a bag of crisp or a burger in McDonald's, you write that crap down. By the time the month is over, you should be able to look back and know exactly where your money went, down to the penny. Tip number 2, calculate how much money you waste. Now is the time to go through your expenses and eliminate everything, and I mean everything that was not a necessity. A necessity is something you need to spend money on in order to live and get by, like pay your bills, rent, food, and so on. All that other stuff is things you just wasted money on because you wanted rather than needed. You need to know the difference. Many of us have something we buy because we want but don't need to live, be it new clothes, trainers, junk food, entertainment, subscriptions, going out, unnecessary shopping, buying coffee, an expensive monthly phone contract, cigarettes, etc. You know exactly what I am talking about, and looking at your list, you know exactly what they are. Eliminate all that from your expenses and calculate exactly how much money you spent on things you want and don't need to live. Now you should know exactly how much money you are really wasting each month. Is it £20, £50, or £100? Tip number 3, mindset is everything. At this stage, mindset is everything. You can't really expect to change your situation and improve your financial affairs if you are weak-minded and too weak to make any changes. You need to have the right mindset, be determined to make changes and improve your situation. Let's say you calculated once you have paid off your necessary expenses in order to live, you really only have £60 left over that you usually wasted away. Now you need to make that conscious decision that you are no longer going to waste that £60, but you are going to either save it or invest it each month. You know you are fine and you can still live and get by without it even, but rather than just spend it like you used to, you are going to change your mindset and go without the things you want to buy or like to do and not touch that £60 and live as if you no longer have it anymore. The question is, can you do what it takes? If you have the right mindset, of course you can. You need to know exactly why you're doing this. Why do you want to change your situation? Dig deep, because when you know your why, your mindset would be focused, determined, and you would be willing to do whatever it takes to improve your situation. Tip number 4, start saving. Once you know how much you can save each month, start saving it. If you're broke and you want to start investing and improve your financial situation, and who knows, maybe one day become really wealthy, then you need to have money to invest. Whatever it is you have after paying off all your necessary expenses, save it. Don't waste it away anymore on things that do not improve your finances or your situation. Before you spend money on anything, even if it is to buy a chocolate bar to fulfill that sugar crave, ask yourself, is this something I need to live or want? Then take control and don't buy it. You need to live like a minimalist and save your money. You should feel guilty if you spent your money on some nonsense because you are wasting it and it sets you back. Save that money like your life depended on it. Okay, maybe that was a bit extreme, but you get the point, right? That £60 per month that you wasted on things you don't really need could be £720 per year in savings. This is how you need to think if you are broke, but want to start to be able to invest. Remember, the broker you are, the harder and more extreme you need to be at cutbacks and savings. Financially speaking, you are already at a disadvantage. So every time you waste money instead of investing it, you are not doing yourself any favors. Tip number 5, education before investing. While you are saving your money to build up a small pot of capital, you should use that time to start educating yourself on investing and what to invest in. You should always do your due diligence before investing in anything. Don't just put your money into something because you saw a Facebook post of someone saying they are making money from some program they have joined the other week. The world is full of get-rich-quick money-making scams out there. None of that is what is considered an investment. Investing is a long-term road. Anything promising quick money payouts is a big red sign of being a scam. So educate yourself on what your investment options are out there with the money that you have and why they are good investments, and try to learn as much as you can about the asset you want to invest in. It is always best to invest in things you understand, and to understand something you need to put the time in to do the reading or watching the videos to educate yourself about it. And the more you educate yourself on your choice of investments, the more confidence you would have in investing in it. If you are just getting started with investing, being broke, you need to be realistic and not waste your time looking at real estate, but rather look at something that you can actually afford with the money that you have, which one day can be a stepping stone for you to actually be able to afford buying into real estate. What I would personally recommend is educating yourself on precious metals like silver and gold, as well as cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. Silver is extremely cheap and extremely undervalued. Gold is more expensive than silver, but has potential for extraordinary growth, and can also be purchased at a fraction of an ounce. And Bitcoin is not as well historically established as silver and gold as a commodity or an asset. It is a relatively new asset class, but can be purchased in fractions at any value amount. Bitcoin has potential, but is more volatile and high risk compared to silver and gold at the moment. The reason why I recommend those three is because they are all fairly simple investment options and does not require that much know-how. A 10-year-old could invest in each one of them. It is a simple process of buy at a good price and hold onto them with a long-term mindset until they appreciate in value. It can't get any simpler than that. To understand why they would or should appreciate in value is beyond the scope of this video, hence why you need to educate yourself before investing. Tip number 6, have long-term goals. Before you start investing, have a long-term goal or plan that you want to achieve or attain one day. For example, my long-term goal is to be financially free, where I can spend all my time doing the things that I really want to do, but can't, as a large portion of my time is taken away from me through my job. So I want to be job free. To be job free, I need passive income that I can live on without having to actively work for it. I know exactly how much money I need to earn as passive income whereby I can live comfortably and would be able to walk away from my job today. And I also know how I plan to achieve that income passively and what I have to do in order to achieve it too. I have a long-term goal and plan, a realistic one. So have a realistic long-term goal that you can work toward and achieve. Tip number 7, don't be afraid of taking risks. Embrace your fear, otherwise you are never going to grow by learning from your mistakes and becoming better. Get comfortable being uncomfortable, otherwise you are not making progress. If you are afraid to take a risk and invest because you fear losing your money, then you will stay complacent. You need to be willing to risk your money in order to earn more. Start valuing your investments more than your cash in order to want to invest more. The point is not to take reckless, dumb risks that are bound to lose you money. Rather, take educated, informed risk that has the potential to make you money. And if you lose money along the way because of bad decisions, then just learn from your mistakes and improve. All investments are a risk. Some are higher than others. Start small and build up your risk tolerance level. But the most important thing is that you start and do not let fear get in your way. Tip number 8, start investing each month. By this stage, you should know exactly how much money you earn and exactly how you spend it and where it goes. By now, you should already have a budget for saving and investing after you have dissected all your expenses and cut out all the unnecessary things you used to waste money on. You should have already started saving for at least a couple of months, while using that time to get educated on what you can start investing in. So you should have a good idea by now on what you want to invest in and why. Your mindset should be focused and your long-term goals already mapped out, so you have a plan and target in mind. Now is the time to start using that money you are able to save, all of it or a percentage of it, and start investing each and every month without fail. You should not be afraid to invest, as it was money you used to spend and waste anyways on things that had no chance of ever increasing your wealth. It is money you do not need to live on, so you can afford to risk it to better improve your finances. Remember, without risk, there is no reward. Each and every month, you should commit to investing. Make it a habit and part of your expenses. If you manage to earn or come across more money in the month, you simply add it to your saving or investing pool. You never stop investing, month after month, year after year. And believe me, not only would you start to love investing, you may even become addicted to it, but you would be in a much better standing than majority of your peers just from your mentality and mindset alone. And that is not even taking into consideration any of the financial benefits that could come your way. Let's say with that £60 you are able to save each month, which is £720 per year. You can either invest all of it or a percentage of it and save the rest in cash. It may be wiser to invest a percentage and save a percentage, but it is up to you. I initially started out investing 100% and then put a small percentage aside for cash savings, as you soon realize it is beneficial to still save. I prefer to invest more than I save in fiat currency because idle money makes no money just sitting there. Rather, it loses value in the long term. Whereas at least my investments can potentially grow in value over time. However, you do what best works for you. Maybe you want to have a 50-50 split between saving cash and investing. Whatever it is, just stick with your investment plan and adjust it accordingly. You may want to diversify your investments too, which is what I would recommend doing. For example, instead of putting all your money into silver ounces over the year, you may want to buy a bit of silver, some cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, and something else you can afford to buy into that has future potential. A diversified portfolio is best as you are banking on more than one thing to give you a return, rather than just keeping all your eggs in one basket. Tip number 9. Don't invest more than you can afford to lose. This is basically rule number 1 in investing, that you should never invest more than you can afford to lose. Don't start borrowing money, taking out loans, using credit cards, or dipping into money that you need to live on to start investing with. This is when you are starting to invest more than you can afford to lose. As your taste buds begin to start enjoying that taste of investing money, you can very well be tempted to start investing more than you can afford to lose. I know, because I have to hold back at times from doing so. Personally, I would invest 100% of my money, just leaving enough for food and rent if I could, but I can't just do that, so I don't. I love investing, so I have to resist the temptation of investing more than I can afford to lose, and only invest with the allocated budget I have designated for myself. If you follow these tips, you would only be using money you can afford to lose on investing. Basically, if your investments were all to go to zero, you should still be able to continue with life without it affecting your living, and move on. If you can't do that, then you are probably overexposed and should cut back a bit. Tip number 10, never stop learning. Never ever stop learning. When you start investing, always continue to learn about the assets you are investing in and the markets. Nowadays, you can use YouTube to learn for free and follow people who basically spend all their time producing content surrounding what you are invested in. This is a way you can learn and stay updated with information easily. So always continue to learn, read, watch videos, listen to podcasts, buy books, do courses, join communities on social media or forums of people investing into the same things you are. The more you learn about investing and the assets you have invested in, the more confident you would be in your investments, because knowledge is power. And if you make mistakes, learn from it rather than give up and quit. And as you gain experience, share it with others who are new to the game of investing and also want to learn how to get started and what to do. Invest, learn, repeat. It's that simple. To conclude this video, these are my top 10 tips for getting started with investing if you are broke or on a low income salary. The sooner you start, the better. The earlier you make mistakes and learn from them, the better. Don't rely on the government or your pension to look after you in retirement. You need to take matters into your own hands and start investing to build your own wealth today. Don't become complacent thinking you don't need to invest because your job gets you by for now. You may not always have it. The difference between the rich and the poor is that the rich invest their money, and that is how they spend it, in buying assets that further increases their wealth. The poor, on the other hand, do the opposite, by spending their money on things that never increases their wealth. Rather, it may increase their expenses, taking further wealth away from them. A lot of people think you need to have a lot of money to start investing. This is far from the truth. You can start investing with a £10 note. Now, don't expect to become a millionaire by investing £10 into something today, but if you consistently invest £10 over time, it compounds, and that is when you start seeing the benefits and the rewards. Think long term, invest long term, and always educate yourself continuously.
Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so as to not miss my next video. Take care and goodbye.